In a recent video, I did a deep dive into coconut oil stress balls. I'm intrigued by the mystery that absolutely nobody knows what's inside these. None of the manufacturers list ingredients, and it's impossible to purchase anything that looks similar to the raw material. My closest guess was that this is some sort of wax, soap, or silicone. I got so many good ideas from viewers under the last video that I had to make a sequel testing them all out. By the process of elimination, I am 99% certain what this material is now. So keep on watching or skip until the end if you want to know what it is. First of all, this is what the original stress ball filling looks like. It's dry, waxy, and has no smell at all. It's very soft and malleable and holds its shape when you press it. This gives the coconut oil squishies their satisfying texture. This is definitely not maltose syrup, which is commonly found inside Nidos and other slow-rising clear squishies. So these are the 4 materials that we're going to test out. First, we have museum gel, which was a very popular suggestion. This is a crystal clear silicone putty that's used to secure objects so they don't slide or fall over. It's also sold under the name earthquake gel, obviously serving the same purpose during an earthquake. This is quite expensive, so I found a cheaper version from AliExpress, which looks and feels identical. I also came across this product called Craft Wax. It's stickier and more elastic than museum gel, but the overall look is really similar. I'm certain this is also some type of silicone putty, so I'm going to group both of these together instead of testing them separately. An interesting feature of museum gel is that it's thixotropic. This means it will slowly flow downwards and flatten out instead of staying the same shape like clay. If you leave a ball of museum gel on the table, it turns into this pancake shape quite quickly. In contrast, the coconut oil stress ball filler doesn't seem to be thixotropic and holds its shape perfectly. But wait a second, some of you might say, when you're playing with the stress ball, it always goes back into its original shape. This is actually because of the transparent wrapper. The wrapper is spherical, so it pushes the filling back into that shape. But if you leave it alone without the wrapper, whatever is inside doesn't move or melt. This time, I didn't forget my illustrator and is going to make filling the stress balls much easier. I'm using these empty ones from Dr. Squish. This transparent material is made from TPR, which is not the same thing as silicone, even though both have very similar properties. TPR melts at high temperatures and can be reused, whereas silicone cannot be changed back to a liquid after it's been cured. Mochi squishies and stress ball wrappers are usually made from TPR. Bear this in mind because I'm going on a deep dive in an upcoming video. The second material I want to try is therapy putty. This is also made from silicone and has a medical use for hand physiotherapy. It comes in different levels of hardness to help people strengthen their grip. As you can see, the pink one is really hard to press and labeled as firm. The blue one is medium soft, and this has a very similar texture to the stress ball filling. The only difference is that it's really elastic. It's actually quite hard to break this into 2 pieces because the material keeps stretching. The dark blue putty is even softer and feels like melted wax. It's quite similar to museum gel though and will slowly flatten out by itself. Next we've got silicone earplugs. This was another very popular request. I've never tried these before, and my first impression is that they do remind me a lot of the waxy substance inside coconut stress balls. Unlike museum gel, these don't bounce back when you press it, and it has the same slightly translucent texture. However, when I try to combine a lot of these into one big ball, I notice that the consistency is a lot firmer. It feels like really dense candle wax. You can alter the shape, but it requires a lot of pressure. When compared to the stress ball material, silicone earplugs feel much harder. Last but not least, we have fractionated coconut oil. My last video ruled out normal coconut oil as the filling because that turns white when solid. The only reason I want to try fractionated oil is because it stays transparent at room temperature. This one I got is a body product mixed with glycerin, and it doesn't really smell like coconut either. It feels slightly soapy when rubbed onto skin. Obviously, this has to be mixed with something else to create a solid shape. I'm going to try dental wax, which was the closest material I found in the last video. Instead of blue wax, I ordered a translucent wax, which I hope is going to maintain some sort of transparency. Unfortunately, this wax feels suspiciously brittle, and I'm pretty sure it's a cheap paraffin wax and not the softer type for braces. So FYI, don't order any medical supplies over AliExpress. But I'm still going to go ahead and try to melt this with a few spoonfuls of fractionated coconut oil. I can quickly tell that this isn't real orthodontic wax because it's super brittle coming off the spoon. The oil doesn't seem to be making it much softer either. It's quite grainy and not very malleable. So now we can do a final squeeze test on all the stress balls. The one with museum gel looks super aesthetic, however it rebounds fairly quickly. I haven't sped up the footage here, and you can see how fast it goes back to being a sphere. This is partially due to the TPR wrapper pushing the gel back into a ball, and the thixotropic consistency makes it behave almost like a liquid. I really had high hopes for this as a stress ball filler, but it seems like silicone putty is just too soft and it doesn't stay in shape. The same thing happens with therapy putty, which is not that surprising since both materials are very similar. The silicone earplugs are better at holding its shape, but they're also much harder to press. So they don't quite have the same satisfying feeling of a coconut stress ball. And lastly, the fractionated oil and wax mixture doesn't look right at all. It seems to have separated and has a grainy texture when you press on it. The closest dupe I found is still dental wax with coconut oil, but that's pretty hard to replicate at home. Since posting the last video, several people have also left comments and even sent me screenshots of videos where you briefly see the label of the stress ball filler. This is often referred to as coconut oil soap base. In the last video, I tried running a small bit of this underwater and it just flattened like wax without really dissolving. This is what made me think it could be silicone based. However, this time I wanted to try it again with the entire ball, and to my surprise, it seems to be leaving a residue behind in the water. Instead of feeling soapy, the surface starts to become very sticky. However, this is actually a texture that I recognize from somewhere. Over 10 years ago, I made this video trying out a Korean soap clay. These clips are so old that I still have all the text going across the screen because I was editing with iMovie. Most soap clays tend to be cornstarch based and quite crumbly to work with. However, this clay has the same texture as plasticine. When I made it wet, the surface got sticky like air dry clay and it was easy to stick different parts together. I was able to make a really detailed rilakuma, which would have been nearly impossible with other types of soap clay. When looking at this footage, I noticed that the clay makes the water cloudy exactly like the filling of the coconut oil stress ball. So this is most likely a glycerin-based translucent soap clay. This is supported by some viewer comments who also said it's a type of soap. Soap clay is a fairly rare product and I've never seen a transparent version before. I've only tried the Korean one from this video and a Japanese DIY kit where you make your own. The Japanese soap clay was quite crumbly and not really the texture we're looking for. But the Korean one you saw earlier was almost identical to this material. I don't understand why you can't buy this separately for soap making, and I've tried looking everywhere for it. It seems like this is an entirely new soap product, but used exclusively for filling stress balls. It does bother me slightly that you never see any ingredients, so you cannot be 100% sure what other additives might be inside. It's presumably safe to touch, but you still don't know because there are no labels or descriptions. There is one commercial product I can think of which is probably the closest to this material. This is called Schmierseife in German and has a thick gel-like texture. We used this in art class back in school to clean paintbrushes. It says it's derived from vegetable oil, and I've also seen a version made from olive oil. So it's not a far jump to assume that they can make something like this from coconut oil as well. But you can see that this is still very wet and slimy, and not exactly the same as the dry, waxy soap clay. In my last video, I was thrown off the idea of soap simply because the material didn't melt even after being heated for a long time. But it seems like there are certain types of soap which are very heat resistant. These are the stress balls a few weeks after filming, and there's final proof of what this is. The pink squishy clay has dried up, and now it looks exactly like a crumbly bar of soap. The inside is still a bit soft, but I think everyone can recognize this texture. So the next thing I want to do is make tutorials on how people can make these at home. I've ordered a whole bunch of supplies, and I'm planning to film some DIY TPR squishy videos soon. Please be sure to subscribe if you want to see those. I'm Joanna, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!